welcome to another 5 apps review video. Today I'm going to talk about 5 apps that have to do with poems, so either reading poems, listening to poetry, writing, playing around, and yeah, hope you'll find that interesting. Okay, so the first app I'm going to show you, we're going to start with really the basics, is an app to read poetry. So it's called Poem Hunter. Here we go. And what I really like with this app is you can have some random poems displayed on your screen. So it's just this little icon in the middle of the screen on the bottom. There you go. And you can just like read it and yeah, you will have different ones, some very different poems. You can also look for an author. So here, if you look for, I don't know, Edgar Allan Poe, here you go, you will have so all the poems by Edgar Allan Poe and also poems who are referencing him. So yeah, this is just a really simple one that will give you lots of things to read, and I think it's quite a nice one. I think it's quite a nice one when you don't really know what you want to read, so you can just have a random poem. So yeah, so this one was Poem Hunter. The second one, I'm going to put it in the middle so you see better. Poem Hunter, and really easy to use. The second app I'm going to show you is called Poem Hour. Poetry Hour, sorry. Sometimes it's really nice to read a poem, but sometimes you might want to listen to a poem because it gives another dimension to it, and yeah, it's a different experience really. And in this app you will have a poem read by more or less famous actors. Here you go. So you can choose either by reader, and on the top right here we have a little menu, so you can choose either by reader, by poem. If you want to read a specific poem, you can look for it and see who read it, or you can look by poet if you're a huge fan of, I don't know, I don't have any poet to come in mind, which is a shame in a poetry video. Let's have a look. Yeah, all of these. You can click on one poet and you will have a list of what is available. And see, let's see this one. So when you click on a poem, you actually have the recording. Because they liked me still. Okay, you go. I'm not sure how my recording is really if my recording is really good or not. So you can look by poets, you can look by poem. Let's just take one at random. And then at the bottom you will have the reading of it.
These were our children who died.
Here you go. You can also look by reader if there's a voice you're particularly appreciating. Let's again take one at random. I don't know. Let's have a look at Lily James. So here you can see you have some videos as well, and you can see what else she's been reading. So this one is good if you want to listen to a poem rather than reading it. So this one was called Poetry Hour. So I've shown you Poem Hunter, which is to read the poems, and Poetry Hour to listen to poems. But I'm also going to show you Poetry Magazine, which is, as it says, a poetry magazine. So this one will be more of a so you can read each issue. So I think the last one is free, but you have to pay for the previous numbers. But what's really good with this one is you will have access to some contemporary and modern poetry because it's poems that have been written really recently. And you will also have some articles on poetry. So if you're really into it, this is maybe something you will find interesting, and you will have some other form of poetry a little bit more advanced, or not necessarily advanced, but something a little bit different. So yeah, this one is called Poetry Magazine, which is just the name of the magazine, and it's a really good one as well. Next one I'm going to show you is one that I particularly enjoy. It's called Haiku Jam, and it's kind of a game more than anything else, but a creative writing game. So basically you're going to write little haiku, so just 3 little lines, but you're going to write with other writers. So you see, for this one I need to write the 3rd line, and you can choose between several ones. You can write either the 1st, the 2nd, or the 3rd. And then you can see what else the other people have written. You can choose for a topic, like Nobody's Perfect, and you can write the first line. So obviously I'm no writer. And then you can send either to anyone who is writing on this app, or to a specific writer. So you see, this one will be the 2nd one, and when the haiku is finished, you can see what people wrote to finish it. You can see also what your friends in the game are writing, or people you've been writing with, and you can read random haiku as well. And it's really nice. It's really a community of people who are really passionate about it. And I think it's a great way to have a little bit of creative writing in not such a difficult way. Not that writing an haiku is not difficult, but it's really giving you some inspiration, and I really like this one. So this one is Haiku Jam. It is free. It is great. And finally, the last app I'm going to show you. This is more for poets more than anything, but it can actually be useful in other parts of life. It's called Poet Assistant, just here. And this one is a little bit of helper to help you find rhymes, synonyms, whatever you want. So let's take a look really at one. Well, let's try treasure, which is one I tried earlier. So you will see here you will have a whole list of words that rhymes with this word. So if you're a little bit stuck with a word that rhymes, here you will have everything. When you click on Thesaurus, you will also have some synonyms, which can be really useful. A dictionary if you want a little bit of a definition, and then you can try some things. Let's have a look. So sorry, please don't judge my my writing, because I'm already not a great writer in French, which is my mother tongue, so in English it's even worse.
There's no treasure in displeasure.
So you can actually have a robotic voice reading it. So this one is really something that you can just download on your phone, and it's really useful. And I mean, even if you're not a poet, if you're not looking for the rhymes or something like that, it can always be useful to have the synonym and dictionary part of it. So, and you can also add some words to your favorites, and then it will show here. So that's all for today. That was 5 apps to do with poetry. See you next Tuesday for another 5 apps review.